Hey, welcome to the 20s podcast. This is a podcast for the girls in their 20s who are seeking a life lived to the fullest. And I'm your host, Liv.
And I'm Meg.
And we're so excited to be here. And today we're talking about all things wellness. This is something that we've had some of our podcast viewers type in and say, we want you guys to talk about this. And we today are going to share some of our personal favorite wellness practices. Backstory is probably about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit more. We really started on our wellness journey. I guess personally it probably started mostly because growing up I had like a ton of like stomach stuff, as a lot of girls do, so always had tummy aches every day of my life for most of my life, and you kind of realize it's not supposed to be this way. I also like struggled with some other chronic pain things, and as I started studying and learning, I realized that a lot of our world is making us sick and could be aggravating some of my symptoms. And so we started just trying different wellness practices that people were sharing with us, our doctors, our physicians. We have a lot of friends who are in the wellness industry who are health coaches and practitioners. And so we basically just started listening to all kinds of random advice, dove really deep into tons of books and podcasts, listened to tons of doctors, la-di-da, and it kind of started a little rabbit hole for us, which I think it does for a lot of people when they start on their wellness journey. And so today we're sharing some of our favorite things. Some things cost zero money, some cost a little bit, but our favorite wellness practices are things that we actually do. That's something our friend Natalie, who's a health coach, she told us the best wellness practices are the ones that you do. So these are the ones that we've been able to stick to. And we're not saying that we're doctors or this is not like advice from physicians. This is just advice from...
And these are the things that we've chosen to do to best support ourselves and like our needs in this season of life. And so... but it's fun to just like hear from different people about what you're doing, what you're trying, what's working for you, and why do you actually like it? Because I think a lot of these things can get thrown around too, and it's like, does that actually work? Is it actually necessary? Like, what's the point of this? And so I think it's just our hope to share some of the things we've done, why we like it, how it's helped us. But yeah, everyone just kind of has to do their research for themselves.
For real. We're not telling you how to live your life. We're just telling you how we live ours. Yeah, honestly, wellness is like such a hot topic these days. It's because it's like all in the politics and stuff, and so I don't know.
And there's so many voices.
There
it can
is
get
so many
pretty
voices.
overwhelming.
Yeah. So yeah, we're excited to dive into it. We're gonna keep things really simple for the most part. So Meg, what's your favorite first wellness tip to bring to the pod?
You know, I think I was gonna. This isn't even maybe a wellness tip, but something I wanted to start with was, I think in the wellness space and following things about wellness and stuff, one of the things that can quickly come in is like fear. Like it can be very like fear mongering, like where it's like, if you have this list of symptoms, you have X, Y, and Z disease, or you have this thing and you have that thing, and it's like all the symptoms kind of look the same, so then all of a sudden you're just like down these rabbit holes and you think you have cancer and all these different things.
We've all been there.
And that is probably like, if that's where you are, is the place to start, because if you have fear and anxiety surrounding health and wellness things, doesn't matter what practices you do, it's probably not going to do anything for you because your body is in such a state of like fight or flight.
Yeah, that's really
and
good.
So I feel like so much of wellness does start with like our minds. Like they always talk about like the like mind gut like connection and like mind body connection, and when your body is in like a state of like anxiety or stress or fear or fight or flight, that is just not allowing your body to actually heal. And the whole point of wellness tips is to heal. And so just wanted to start with that because our minds are so powerful.
Yeah, our minds are powerful. I honestly feel like the biggest thing that I've taken away over my past few years, and I've listened to so much, I've read so much, and like I've like quite literally deep dived in, I really think that tip is the most important one, is to like reduce your stress, make sure your mind is right, make sure your mental health is good, and really be focusing, on mindset more so, like, over anything else, I think is insane. So that was our first one, was just like mindset and like reducing stress. This was super interesting. I was at an appointment with my doctor last week. She's a physician, like an integrative physician, which I personally love because she just basically takes like a very holistic approach of like whatever means that we need to do to make sure that you're healthy and healing, that's what we're going to do, whether that's medicine, whether that's more of like a holistic herbal route. And so it's like, I don't really care how we get you there to be healthy. We're just going to do that. And so I really respect her for that. But she was saying that she's watched so many people be on the exact same protocols, have the exact same like dysfunctions, and those who are consumed with stress and anxiety will not heal from like their dysbiosis, their dysfunction. But those who are not stress free and who are able to like get their mindset right, that's really the winning formula. So from a physician who sees literally so many patients, it was just really like eye-opening to hear her say that. And I was really realizing, what's the point of doing anything at all unless I can, I guess, just like get my mindset and everything right. So
no, that's so interesting. It's so helpful to even know, though, before you like start diving into some of the things or trying all the things, because some of the things are free, but some do cost money, and you want to like steward your money well with it and not just be trying all like the quick band-aid fixes and really like needing to come back to some of the basics first.
And wellness like is not, I think you just be bringing up band-aid, something we've learned, it's just not a band-aid thing. Like if you're looking for like actual wellness that's like whole and not temporary, it takes tons of time. But it is encouraging when you actually like commit to it for like this has become my lifestyle. I think it's been crazy to see how much healing has happened in the last few years of our lives for both of us, where it's like we didn't really see much. You see, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes you can see a lot happen in a month. Sometimes like you're so sick. Like I feel like I had so much dysfunction. Like one of the biggest things that helped me was cutting out gluten and dairy, which we can just make that our number 2. Can we say that? Well, this is wellness tips that we love. Cut gluten and dairy. Mostly gluten for us, I would say, is probably.
Yeah. And I feel like there was just a season, though, of having to cut it all to just reset. Yeah. Where now we're able to handle some dairy. Yeah. But for a good year, it was
like we didn't even touch it. And so, cutting gluten and dairy really like changed my life. I struggled with bad poopy my entire life and like tons of like excruciating pain in my body and like always feeling like I was going to throw up every single night of my life. And that really all just completely went away within a few months of me being gluten and dairy free. So the reason why we love being gluten and dairy free, unfortunately, gluten in America, if you do like any basic research, the way that America processes most of our food is very different than other areas of the world. So if you go to Europe or something, you'd probably be able, people say this all the time, you'll probably be able to eat pasta and stuff because they're not processing their wheat and grains so intensely. And they strip so much of the nutrients out of, sorry, I got really distracted by you. I was like, what are you looking at? Sorry.
Oh, was I looking at my phone?
Yeah, I was like.
Sorry, I'm reading the list out of the corner of my eye.
No, you're good. I'm like, what are you looking at? Sorry, there was a lot of ADHD happening there. So basically, all the wheat and stuff is so heavily processed here. Yeah. And so most people can't handle it because America processes their food so silly. So we should stop doing that, America. And wait, what am I talking about? Gluten F me up. And here's the thing, I've gotten like celiac tested, allergy tested my whole life for like gluten, and they always were like, you're not allergic to gluten, you're not allergic to gluten, you're not allergic to dairy. I might not be like allergic to it by like the medical world standpoint, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't cause intense inflammation in my body. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people probably, if you have stomach problems, you probably have gotten tested for gluten and dairy, and it probably has been like, oh, you're fine. I would honestly just encourage you to give even like a month or two to like try not eating it, and I bet you'd feel a lot better.
Yeah, I think that too. That point is good. And it goes into, those were like the two big things we did right away.
Yeah.
And in conjunction with that, we started eating all whole foods.
Yeah.
And not processed foods.
And just making our food. So, okay, now we're getting a little all over the place. We're going to call this number 3, make your own food.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel like let's just rip it.
Let's just rip it.
3, make your own food. Okay, so it's great to go out to eat. We go out to eat sometimes, and sometimes it's necessary, but the bulk of what you eat should be food that you make in your own kitchen. I feel like this really changed my life. I feel like I got so comfortable in college, you know, going to Culver's, going to la-di-da, like just any night of the week, just like, oh, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But that actually is so hard when you do that multiple times a week. It's so hard on your body, and so just spending time at home, going to the grocery store or the farmer's market, getting food and like making real whole food at home is game changing.
Yeah.
And now I wouldn't want it any other way.
No,
where
we struggle to like even sometimes go out to eat where we're like, oh.
And I think that's why we became such good. Sorry, I'm like playing. I really struggle with my mic. So before the podcast episode, Meg and Annie gave me a talk about how I go like this with my mic the entire episode. So I'm trying to be demure.
You're doing great.
It's hard to be just like a classy, stable girl.
It's okay.
I'm trying to not be.
You are classy and you are stable. You just the mic
oh,
is
really?
just
okay. I'm trying to not fidget. Okay. So Meg and I have become really good cooks, and I feel like we've always liked cooking, but we really got good at cooking. I think when we started going gluten and dairy free and like not eating tons of sugar, and when we were cooking at home, like I think that's when we started making pop off meals, and I think it's because we were just putting in so many reps of cooking, and it was like, dang, I want to be as excited as I am to go get a Culver's burger and fries. Yeah. Like, how do I make that same level of happiness at home? And you just kind of figure it out. Where, you know, we couldn't eat Panda Express anymore. Well, guess what? We came up with the best orange chicken Panda Express chicken recipe.
So good.
And it's so clean. Like, there's nothing bad about it.
Better than Panda Express.
It's to die for, because, like, you're zesting oranges, and it's just
so fresh.
Fresh and phenomenal. And it's fried and deep fried, but it's, like, deep fried in beef tallow, which is, like, just not that bad for you. And
you don't feel sick afterwards.
Yeah, you feel great. You can just smack a whole plate of homemade Panda Express at home, and you don't have gut rot for the next few days.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most liberating things ever.
It is.
And so I do not miss the days where I felt down bad.
No, not at all. It's like, there's sometimes, I feel like in this season of life, it's been a little bit busier. So there's been some weird weeks where I've had like family in town helping with the house and stuff. So we've gone out to eat like multiple days in a row. And I'm like, oh, I feel so gross. I feel so sick. It takes me like a week and a half to recover and just get back to like my body feeling normal and pooping normal, and it just doesn't feel worth it. And it doesn't taste as good. So that food and gluten and dairy have definitely been the biggest things that have impacted our health.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Sugar.
And sugar.
Low-key, though, sugar is the enemy. I don't want to be like that. And I'm a sugar girly. Like, guys, back in the day, like, my summer as a kid until I was, like, maybe, I don't know, a sophomore in high school, was, like, I would do whatever kids do. And, like, every single day, I would bake a sweet treat. I loved baking growing up. But I'd, like, make Rice Krispies or cookies or brownies or whatever every single day. And the like stuff that I was making was probably just like so unbelievably high in processed sugars that was wrecking my gut. Like, I was not okay. I was in like agonizing pain all the time, and it was because of processed sugar. So we eat sugar. We make most of our sweet treats at home, although actually recently we've been getting some sweet treats at the co-op.
But
We're going to do an episode on our favorite little snackies and sweet treats because
Yeah.
we're pretty passionate. But
Yeah.
what we've realized is you can make incredible sweet treats at home. You can make stuff with not so like highly processed sugar. So we love cooking with maple syrup and
Coconut
sugar.
sugar.
Those are like our two favorite sugar choices, and they don't spike your blood sugar as high,
Yeah.
which helps your gut to actually be able to digest the sugar. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, fun fact, I think we forget that like human beings don't need any added sugar into our diet.
Yeah. And in America, there's so much added sugar. Like ketchup has an insane amount
All
of
your
added sugar. and
condiments, all your
everything.
like tomato sauces, like
Your
literally,
bread.
low-key, everything has so much added sugar, and the reason why they pump that sugar in there is
It's addicting.
it's addicting.
It's
Sugar,
actually so addicting.
sugar is like one of the most addictive drugs or what I don't know substances in the
Yeah.
entire world, and so it's hard for people to stop drinking soda. It's hard for them to stop, having their sweet treat every single day that's full of so much crap. But it's weird when you cut it back. Like, we still eat a lot of sugar, but when you cut it back, when you actually have sugar, it like hurts.
It doesn't even taste good either, which is the sad part sometimes.
And I don't like talking about my chronic pain too much, but when I have a ton of sugar, like my joints literally ache. Like my hands and my knees, like everything hurts so bad. And so I honestly think sugar is probably the biggest, like if I want to keep my pain down, I think sugar is like the number one way for me to like keep my
Yeah.
pain at bay. Like it's like almost like it's like clockwork. Like I eat a ton of sugar and boom, I'm feeling
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, sugar sucks. But we have
Yeah.
so many like lower sugar alternatives, and there's just so much out on the market now where you can go to the grocery store and get such good sweet treats that
Yeah.
only have like a little bit of like added sugar, and the sugar is normally like maple syrup or coconut sugar, or at least like organic cane sugar, which can be better than like the high fructose corn syrup. Literally so bad.
Yep.
These are our personal opinions. Don't come
We hope we're
hating.
not offending you.
But if we are, honestly,
okay.
okay, can we
We
talk?
love you.
No, can we actually
We
talk
love
about this
you.
for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, I love, like, Meg and I, first off, we're not, like, political charged people. So, know that about us. We're very just mild girls who just want everyone to be well.
Yep.
So I think that explains. But it's weird. There's such a taboo, I feel like, when people get so angry about people having conversations about health and wellness, of like, it's just weird to me that people get so angry about talking about like, oh, high fructose corn syrup is literally causing so much havoc in
Yeah.
our lives, and like people get angry about that. I'm like, we don't need to be angry at each other. We should be angry at the high fructose corn syrup.
That the people even decided to make it because they knew what it was.
Well, do you think they knew what it was?
I actually have no idea.
I just am like, the enemy is the high fructose corn syrup. It isn't people.
That's actually true. It's like biblical that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And when like the food system is so corrupt and our food is killing us, like it has to be a spiritual thing that's also behind it and
Yeah.
behind some of like the industries and corporations inside of it.
Yeah, because the reality is food has the ability to heal us. Like, honestly, if we put on our spiritual pants for a second, like
Put them on.
Put them on. Food was like obviously created by God. It is like one of the most godly, beautiful parts of creation is food. Like everything about it like reflects like the character of God, like just like who he is. It's so like filled with life. Like whole food in itself is like one of the most beautiful things literally ever. And so much of our food has tons of medicinal properties to heal and nourish and give life to us. And I feel like life and nourishment, like that is like so godly, and like he's given us everything that we need to, like, okay, before the fall of man, before Adam and Eve sinned,
Yeah.
it was the Garden of Eden, and that garden was filled with an abundance of everything good and perfect in life, and one of those things was food. And the sin literally cursed the ground and cursed the food, and ever since, like, our food has been cursed, and it's been cursed because of sin, and sin is humans just messing everything up all the time. Like,
Yeah.
and humans have the ability to mess up God's good and perfect creation that leads to like complete life and like everything we need. And so I think it's, like you said, this is something the enemy has tried to come kill, steal, and destroy is our food. He's tried to, instead of having it be the thing that heals us, he's trying it
Have
to
be the
thing that kills us, and we'll use our sin to do that. And so and it's just the reality. Like, I mean, our food, like our vegetables, they're covered in Roundup, and I have a family member who has cancer because of Roundup, and it's like the craziest thing that we're spraying just our crops with. And it's poison. Like, guys, that isn't like, I like to like put the blame too, not on people as much as it's like, this is a battle against flesh and blood. The devil is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We try to gang up on people and be so divisive and like be like, this person's the problem or this person's the problem. It's like, guys, Satan exists and he's the problem, and he is like trying to kill us. So I don't know. It just makes me sad that people get so like mad at each other to talk about these sorts of things. Where it's like, this should be one of our main conversations. Like, food is like essential. Like, we take it. Sorry, I'm really just like rambling, but we just like take it for granted. Yeah. But it's in America because we it's so easily accessible. But it's like such a building block of our life. It should be one of our main things that we talk about and we care about in life. Yeah. Because
I would agree. It's good. I feel like bouncing off of that, that's like another thing that's helped been a filter for us, and even choosing different wellness practices that we've done is like kind of like going back to the garden, like you said. Like, what was God's like original intent in his original design for us? And obviously there's things that have been created with the like resources and materials God has given us to support us that isn't like natural per se, or you can't go pick it.
Right.
But just like trying to think back in that way, I feel like has been so helpful, where this can maybe go into our next point, where one of our favorite things to do is get our feet in the grass, like ground. And it's like, oh, God like literally created us to like walk on this earth and to like be in nature and to enjoy nature. And there's actually like scientific, I don't know,
there's
science behind like what happens when we're physically on the ground and like touching the ground and spend time in the grass and in nature. And so I think that's also just really cool to think about, where it's like, oh, some of these like wellness practices or things like that are just like so rooted in the beginning of like God's intent for how we're supposed to live.
That's good.
But yeah, get your toesies in the grass.
Yeah, it's like there's all this like energetic frequencies that come from the earth. Go get them.
Go get them.
Go get them in the dogs. Go get them in... I wish I didn't say that.
It's okay.
Go get them in your feetsies. Please cut that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's hard in Wisconsin. Like, you can't get in the grass in the winter.
Wisconsin is like literally the worst.
But
I say that, and it's also the best.
Yeah. But now that it's summer, we are out there.
Now that it's summer, though, you realize how bad it's been. Like, you know, you just like convince yourself all winter long that it's just not that bad, and Wisconsin's just not that bad, and then it starts to feel nice again, and you're like, dang, everyone lives like this all the time. Yeah. I was so depressed. And yeah, we've been spending lots of time with our feet in the grass, and so
feels so good. Face in the sun.
Yeah, another one of our favorite wellness practices is sunlight. So the big one that I personally love is just like getting light in my eyes in the morning. I've realized I like personally can like really struggle with feeling more sad and just like glum when I don't get sun in my eyes in the morning. And we've learned a lot about just the natural rhythms of our body. One of them is our circadian rhythm. So that's the thing that makes us wake up and go to bed. And it's the thing that kind of like helps release different hormones throughout the day for us to sustain energy levels. And so our circadian rhythm resets in the morning when our eyes are in the sun. And so it should be something that we do first thing in the morning, is get outside. And when I do that, I feel so much better. I feel so alive. And then on winter months, I use like a
happy light.
It's just like a light that has like some of the same like light frequencies or lights emission as the sun, not quite, but that actually helps a lot. And so I try to stay disciplined with that on dark days. So, and
No,
what's
so
interesting
good.
about it is if it's raining outside in the morning, it's actually better for you to go outside in the rain. It's strong, like that is still like a really strong, like the sun still just like really pours through. And so even on gloomy days, it's still better for you to get outside than not
Dang.
at all.
That's good to know.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that about the sun. Or like if it was like rainy and cloudy.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's like it's going to be better on days that are
Yeah.
sunny, but glum days are just as, or not just as powerful, but
Yeah.
they're better for you to go out and do
Yeah.
that than not at all. So,
No, that makes sense. I feel like that's a discipline I'm really good at in the summer is getting outside right away and like spring, but not in the winter. But I would love to discipline myself more to do that when the weather isn't good, to just still get
Yeah.
fresh air and get the light in the eyes.
totally. All right, let's rapid fire through some of these.
Rapid fire.
Smiling. Smiling is an important thing. And we're going to try to smile more on the podcast because apparently we don't smile.
Sometimes I watch it back when I'm editing and I'm like, we look like dead.
Some days we
We
are
look
dead. In
dead.
full transparency,
some days we're dead.
we actually are dead and we're just showing up. But smiling is a super powerful thing. The world needs our smile. You need your smile. You can convince your brain of that you're happy by just smiling.
It can be fake. Apparently, it can be fake, and your brain doesn't know the difference between a real one and a fake one. And so, one of our friends was just telling us about this, and I've actually been practicing it the last few days, and it helps. But sometimes it makes me mad that it helps. Where this is gonna be a little side thing, but I was getting my period yesterday, and I was feeling so like grumpy all day. And
Like she wants to punch.
yeah, literally. And I remembered this like smiling thing. So I kept like when I was like walking around the house or like going to the bathroom, I was like, I'm just gonna smile. And it was making me feel better. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do it.
I hate smiling.
And so, but I was like, okay, I don't need to let my hormones drive every part of how I'm functioning today. Let's not be a grump. So
Yeah, smile. And
Smile
laugh.
and
Honestly, laugh therapy is some of the best therapy.
turn on some Wipeout.
Yeah, turn on some Wipeout.
laugh.
We've been watching some Wipeout. Like, that's a great show, you guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I think you can be intentional about some, like, funny little YouTube videos or, like, TikTok and stuff when you just need a good laugh with some friends.
Yeah.
Like, laughing's so powerful, getting around a table with people playing a game. So we love that.
Yep.
Okay, let's just rapid fire.
Yeah. You lead the way.
Saunaing is awesome. If you have access to a sauna, whether it's like at the Y or somewhere else, it's fantastic. It's good to like open up your detox pathways. So you need to be able to detox all the toxins out of you. Some ways we do that: pooping, sweating, and we can help ourselves sweat when we get in a sauna. If you don't have a sauna, if you have a bath, that's another great option. Taking a hot bath with like magnesium salts pulls all the toxins out of us. I always feel great. Baths are like one of the best remedies to if I'm sad, if I'm exhausted, if I'm hurting, if I'm sick. I get in a bath. It's almost a guarantee I'll feel better. Eating breakfast in general has been huge. If you're not eating breakfast and you say that you're not hungry, that's just because you've trained your body that you're not hungry. Your body, and this is maybe not so much for men. I'm speaking obviously to women.
Yeah.
Women need breakfast. Based off of the education we've received, we just have like a need for sustained nutrients throughout the day based off how our hormones work.
And you realistically have probably been fasting for about 12 hours, if not more, by the time you wake up and get to breakfast.
Yeah. If you don't eat breakfast, honestly, just do some research on breakfast. It's so important. And more than just like a bagel with cream cheese, like that's not a well-rounded meal unless you like have tons of protein on it somehow. But you want to have like a protein, and like that's like what we think is probably one of the most important things that we feel good on. Protein, a carb, honestly, fat. Women need a full, well-rounded plate every single time. So any other things? Prayer, gratitude. I mean, we talked a little bit about just like our mindset at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think just having an attitude of gratitude is very healing.
For sure.
Prayer, just like meditation, things that are going to set your mind on things above and not on things that we can't control. And hope also is so important. This is something I've seen a lot in my life and in the like close people in my life. I feel like if you don't have hope, you're just like on the track to destruction. Hope is like one of the most powerful wellness practices, and I think it's really easy for believers, for Christians to have hope, because even when there's literally no hope left, even when, you know, maybe you get like a diagnosis that's like this is uncurable, or you get like something that you can never come back from, for us it's like we can still live with the hope and the reality that either the Lord is going to heal me now on this side of heaven miraculously, which he does still do, or he's going to heal me like
in heaven.
Like just the eternal reality that we will live forever with the Lord, and like he's going to make our bodies new again, and he's going to restore everything to perfection, is the most important thing for us to like keep our eyes fixed on, because despair, depression, hopelessness will kill you, and you're not having like the will to live is like, and or just hope is just, it's actually really dangerous. And so
no, it's so good. It can be the hardest thing too, though. Like the
so
hardest thing to keep like hope
so
alive.
hard, even as a believer.
Yeah, even as a believer. And I think we have to constantly remind ourselves of truth, even if all we can grasp onto is like the eternal hope and reality that we have. If like there's nothing we feel like we can have hope for here on this earth. And so that's why we need people to help us be
that's
reminded
so
of hope and truth.
When people,
it's really hard to, when you get to that mindset where you like have lost hope and you feel so stuck and like in the pit, it's so hard to get yourself out of that too. And so
totally, and the enemy doesn't want you to get out of it, because he knows he has you right where he wants you. And so we like do need people to like straight up pull us out, remind us of truth, speak life over us. Like honestly, that's why we just have to like continuously be like thinking about the eternal realities, otherwise I'd be a mess.
No.
So that was a bit of a rapid fire.
Yeah, a little bit of a rapid fire, a little bit of a, I don't know what it was. We're kind of all over the place.
Honestly, our hope for like, okay, so this season of life has just been like our first kind of go about with podcasting. And soon here we're moving, Meg's getting married, there's so much change. When she gets back from her honeymoon, we like really do want to work on getting more equipment so we can bring guests out of the podcast. And we would love to talk about wellness more, because we have so many smart people in our life that we would love to bring onto the podcast. So more wellness conversations soon from people who actually have the authority to speak into facts and have the education.
It won't just be us being like, scientificness.
But you know, we have to have just, we gotta talk from like friend to friend, you know what I mean? So, do your own research, don't listen to everything we say, even though all these things have helped us so much. We feel so much better. But ladies, hope you enjoyed our wellness episode.
Well,